The Bee That Never Gave Up. Dwayne Buckley, Life Lessons as the Journey Continues. Life teaches us lessons every single day, but we miss most of it because we're busy focusing on what we already know. As I worked on a project for a client at 3 a.m., I decided to work from the kitchen counter at home. As I sipped a cup of hot chocolate, a bee flew into the kitchen and pitched on the counter right before me. I brushed it off and back through the door from which it came. After returning to the computer, the very same bee flew back to the very same spot. This time I paused for a few seconds before I brushed it out for the second time. The third time it came back, I became curious as to what he really wanted. I was barely bothered by him being there this time around as I realized how determined he was. I was more curious as to why he would have continuously put his life at risk. I was actually moved by his determination and drive, so I paused what I was doing to make an observation. He stopped, and at this point I wondered if he was now figuring out his next move or if he was lost or something. But then he took flight, straight towards the light where he seemed to have found his peace. This made me reflect on something that happened earlier during the course of the day. I spent the entire day on the road shopping around for some household items, and I was determined that I wasn't going to end the day without getting all the items that I had set out to get, which I accomplished eventually, after a very long and hard search. During this search, all over town for the items I needed, I didn't take a break because I was very focused, not even the time to get something to rehydrate myself, so I became very thirsty. When I was done, I was so thirsty I would have had almost anything to drink. To my disbelief, I could not find not even a single vendor to save me. Usually there would be quite a few options readily available, but this time there was none. Even after driving for miles, there was none in sight. By this time I concluded that I would have waited until I got home, which was another couple of hours, and as the decision was made, it made me appreciate the days when they were in abundance. The saying is true, you don't usually know the value of what you have until you no longer have it. Immediately 1 minute after giving up my hunt for a refreshing drink to quench my thirst, a vendor walked right up to me at the stoplight with the exact drink I wanted. Now, what have I learned from the experience with the bee and the experience with not having the refreshment? The bee taught me that as long as there is a way to get to my goal, as long as there's an open door, do not give up, continue to fight for what I want, even if I face setbacks and obstacles. It may be something, a specific goal, or a special person. Secondly, I learned that perseverance is necessary, and always having access to something should not be taken for granted. Not to wait until it's no longer around for me to appreciate it, but being the human that we are, we sometimes have to lose to have a better appreciation of what we had. The Bee That Never Gave Up. Dwayne Buckley, Life Lessons as the Journey Continues.